welcome to our second live stream class. I'm so glad that you can join me this morning or this afternoon or this evening, depending on where you are. It's 10 o'clock a.m. here in Colorado. Just a couple of notes before we get started, and then I'll just get you right into your yoga class. So I wish I could see all of you, and you can't see everyone who's joining us for this class, but you are being joined by people from 12 different countries and 18 different states around the United States. So even though times are a little strange with the pandemic and quarantine and all of those things, you are not alone. We're all here joining in this beautiful practice of yoga together. I hope that you guys are all staying safe and sane and healthy. I would like to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. If you could see the setup here with the lights and the cameras and the computers, I'm very thankful for all of you who contribute to Five Parks Yoga. I'd like to give a quick shout out to the class, the graduating class of 2020, high school and college. This was supposed to be a weekend for graduates all over the country, and my son Ben is one of them. So congratulations, even though we don't get to do a traditional graduation ceremony. So we're going to be hosting more live classes in the next couple of weeks. We're doing one on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and this is hopefully going to reach or be more accessible to people across the globe. And this class, I'm trying to think if there's anything else, we'll just kind of move forward. So this class is a Vin-Yin class, which means that we're going to be doing Vinyasa flow and Yin, which is longer holds, deep stretches, so active and passive. And I think it's a great combo for all of you who love deep stretch and lots of activity. I hope that you like this. I'm going to mix in, there's like a lot of different ways you can structure this class, but I'm going to mix in some really active vinyasa flows with passive yin stretches throughout the class. And then of course we'll close with some deeper stretches. Let's do it. So if you guys have, one more note, if you have props and you want to use them for the yin portion of class, I will cue them. They're not required, but if you know that you need a block during Pigeon or a strap during some of the deep stretches, have those available. I will cue them, and if you don't want or need them, that's great. So let's start today in a child's pose, extended child's pose. So for extended child's pose, just bring your knees wide, bring your big toes to touch, walk your hands forward so you feel a nice stretch in your shoulders. Place your forehead and your nose down on your mat and close your eyes. And we're going to begin with some deep breathing. So as you settle into this pose, just check in with your body. Notice where you're holding any tension. That tension could be in your head with thoughts of external things in your life. See if you can just put those on the shelf for an hour while we practice yoga together, and just be fully present here on your mat in this moment. Lengthen your inhales and your exhales as you settle into this first posture. If you're comfortable with Ujjayi breathing, begin to activate your Ujjayi Pranayama. So as your face is close to your mat, see if you can hear the sound of your breath going in and out through your nose, gently constricting the back of your throat. The essential practice here is to return to whatever presents itself in our experience from moment to moment. to feel the actual physical sensation of our aliveness. Movement invites attention and asks us to practice devotion to ourselves as an act of loyalty. Instead of abandoning ourselves, we can learn to inhabit ourselves. The body is tremendously homesick for us, and it waits patiently for our return. So let your breath, your breathing practice, be that first instrument to coming into your body, coming into your mind, coming into this present moment. So we're going to begin to warm up the spine and the shoulders. From your extended child's pose, keep your hips where they are on your heels and just walk your hands to the right. And try and keep your left hip glued to your heels. So you're feeling a stretch along the entire left side of your body. Head is resting heavy on the floor, no tension in your neck. Walk your hands through center and then to the left. So I'm not mirroring you if you're looking at me, so I'm in the opposite direction, but feel the stretch along the entire right side of your body. Forehead resting heavy on your mat, no tension in your neck. Now walk your hands back to center, just where you began. Keep your right arm extended, and then just slide your left arm underneath your right. Press your left shoulder down to your mat. Press or release your left ear onto your mat. Your left hand is nice and relaxed, facing up toward the ceiling. So you can just focus on the stretch in the back of your left shoulder and the release of tension in your neck. And let's switch sides. So extend your left arm long, slide your right arm underneath your left, rest heavy on your right shoulder, and then release your right ear to your mat. Your right hand should be relaxed but facing up toward the ceiling so that you can focus on the stretch on the outside of your right shoulder. And then come once more back into extended child's pose. Hopefully you're feeling like your hips are opening up, low back releasing. And then let's all meet in tabletop position. So come up onto all fours. Position your wrists right underneath your shoulders, your knees right underneath your hips, and keep your neck nice and long so you're gazing down at your mat. Let's take some cats and cows here as we continue to warm up and release the spine. So drop your belly as you breathe in, lift through the crown of your head, lift your chin, and then as you breathe out, round your spine. Take your gaze toward navel center. And then just move at your own pace, listening to the sound of your breath as you move from cat to cow. One more of each. Breathe in, drop your belly, and breathe out. Round your spine. Come back to a neutral tabletop position. We're just going to build a little bit of heat in the core. So go ahead and tuck all 10 toes under, and then lift your knees up off of your mat to hover. Just hold here. Nice, deep breathing. Draw your belly button back towards your spine, warming up your core, keeping your neck nice and long. And release your knees back down to the floor. Extend your right leg straight out to the right. Position your heel behind your toes. We're going to take an inner thigh stretch here. Tuck your left toes under, bring your hip to your heel. Walk your hands forward. Release your forehead down towards your mat. Now focus on the stretch in your right inner thigh. And focus on the stretch in your right ankle. Come back up. Switch sides. Extend your left leg to the left. Your left heel behind your toes. Tuck your right toes under. Hip to heel. Release your forehead down to your mat. Notice the stretch in your left inner thigh. Notice the stretch on the outside of your right ankle. And then make your way back to tabletop position. So let's come into our first downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under once again. Lift your hips. Release your heels. And then take any movements here in your first downward facing dog. Pedaling your legs, bending and straightening one leg at a time. Wobbling out your head. Releasing any tension in your neck. Just looking back toward your heels. And then press your heels down towards your mat. As you look back at your feet, make sure that your heels are disappearing behind your toes and that your feet are at about hip distance apart. And just enjoying this posture as you hold it in stillness, continuing to deepen your breath. And then when you're ready, look toward the front of your mat and make your way to ragdoll at the top of your mat. So a couple steps. Take a generous bend in your knees. Rest your torso on your thighs. Let your arms dangle. Let your head be heavy. You can take opposite hand to opposite elbow if that feels good and sway side to side. Or again, you can just hold it in stillness, just hanging, releasing tension from your spine and your neck. Go easy on your hamstrings here at the beginning of class. We'll take some forward folds in just a moment. All right, so heel toe your feet to touch, a little space between your heels, and then roll your way up to a stand. And then once you are in a standing position, release your arms straight down for mountain pose. Palms face out, fingers face down. Feel your feet grounded on the floor, spreading your toes so maybe that you can see mat between each toe. And then on your next breath in, reach your arms up overhead and come into Arrow Mudra. So interlace your fingers, release your index fingers, cross your thumbs, squeeze your biceps by your ears, reach up, breathe in, and then as you exhale, side bend. Now I'm going to mirror you. Side bend to the left. Keep your hip right in line with your shoulder. Maybe take your gaze up, but no discomfort in your neck. So find the right gaze. If you feel off balance, you can take your gaze down to the floor. Breathe in, come back to center, and take a side moon in the opposite direction. So come off to your right. Keep your shoulder right in line with your hip. And again, squeeze your biceps by your ears. Comfortable gaze for your neck. Come back to center. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, cactus your arms. Breathe in, lift up, tall mountain. Exhale, standing forward fold. All right, let's focus a little more on our hamstrings now. So take your peace fingers and then wrap them around your big toes. Start to draw your elbows off to the sides of your mats, using a little strength in your arms to bring the top of your head closer to the floor. And again, be gentle on your hamstrings, so bend your legs as much as needed, but work in the direction of stretching out the backs of your legs. So just feel that right at that edge. Breathe in, come up to a halfway lift, lengthening your spine, hands on your blocks, the floor, your shins, your quads. Just try to keep the top of your head in line with your spine all the way toward your tailbone. And then exhale, take a standing forward fold, plant your hands on the floor, step back, high plank pose, and hold. Just for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and lower all the way down onto your belly. Inhale, Cobra pose. Breathe in, lift up, reach through the crown of your head. Breathe out, release. Let's do that 2 more times. Moving with the breath. Breathe in. Exhale, release. 1 more time. Breathe in. And release. Again, moving at the pace of your own breath. Tuck your toes under. You can keep your knees on the floor or lift them up, and then come into a high plank position, and then back to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. All right, let's continue to build some heat in the body. We're just going to do traditional sun salutations. Again, moving at your own pace. So I'm going to cue them, but you listen to your own breath and body. So look toward the front of your mat. Inhale, step, walk, or float to the front of your mat. Exhale, standing forward fold. On your next breath in, rise up, tall mountain. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, monkey, halfway lift. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog is your breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Look toward the front of your mat. Come to the front of your mat as you breathe in. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, rise up, tall mountain. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold, plant your hands. Step back, high plank. Breathe in, chaturanga. Breathe out, upward facing dog. Breathe in, and exhale. Return to downward facing dog. Big breath in, and out. Come to the front of your mat as you breathe in. Exhale, standing forward fold. Tall mountain, rise up, breathe in. Exhale, hinge from your hips, come all the way down to standing forward fold. Halfway lift. And make your way through chaturanga. So you can step, walk, float, halfway, all the way down. Your choice of movements. Cobra, upward facing dog, is your breath in. And then downward facing dog is your breath out. Breathe in and out. Come to the front of your mat on your breath in. Exhale, standing forward fold. Tall mountain, rise up. Standing forward fold, hinging from your hips, coming all the way down. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, chaturanga. Step, walk, float. Halfway all the way down. Cobra or up dog. Making this your own practice, your own experience. Return to downward facing dog. One more time. Come to the front of your mat. Standing forward fold as you breathe out. Tall mountain, rise up. Standing forward fold. Halfway lift. Step walker float. Cobra pose or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. On your next breath in, lift your right leg up, open your hip and bend your leg. Take a circle of your ankle in one direction and then switch directions. Extend your right leg long, level your hips. As you breathe out, tap your right knee to your right elbow. Three-legged dog. Tap your right knee to your left elbow. Three-legged dog, breathe in. Bring your knee to your nose. And then set your foot flat to the floor. Release your back knee down onto the floor. Keep your left hand where it is. And let's take a grounded twist. So you can take your right hand to your right knee or up toward the ceiling. Breathe in. Exhale, release your right hand down to the floor. Tuck your toes, lift your left knee up off of your mat. Breathe in, three-legged dog. Breathe out, low lunge. On your next breath in, rise up to crescent lunge. And then exhale, take a vertical twist. Bring your left arm forward and your right arm back. Keep your shoulders right over your hips. Breathe in, both arms up, crescent lunge. Breathe out, warrior two. Hold here. And on your next breath in, reverse warrior, slide your left hand down your left leg, reach your right arm up. And as you exhale, come into extended side angle. Right elbow to your right knee or right fingertips to the floor. Lift your left arm up. Breathe in, five-pointed star. Breathe out, prayer squat. Breathe in, five-pointed star. Breathe out, warrior two. Reverse warrior. Low lunge. Now from here, don't go back to plank yet. Step your left foot to meet your right. Bend your legs a lot. Inhale, chair. Sink your hips low. Keep your feet in line with your knees and in line with your hips. Adjustments for your arms, you can take your hands to heart center. Now, if they're not already, bring your hands to heart center. Balance on your left foot. Extend your right heel forward. Hold. Bring your right foot to meet your left. Extend your left foot forward. Hold. So really strengthening up through your quads. Bring your left foot to meet your right. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, standing forward fold. Make your way to down dog. Halfway lift, chaturanga, cobra up dog. Back to down dog. All right, let's take those poses on the other side, continuing to build heat and strength in the body. Breathe in, lift your left leg up, open your hip, bend your leg. Take a circle in one direction and switch directions, just loosening up the ankle and the foot. Level your hips, straighten your leg as you breathe in, and then as you breathe out, left knee, left elbow. Three-legged dog, inhale, exhale, left knee, right elbow. Three-legged dog, breathe in, left knee to nose, step your foot forward, release your right knee down, take your right hand down to the floor and lift your left arm up toward the ceiling, or You can place it on your left knee and just take a nice, deep, grounded twist. Release your left hand down to the mat, tuck your toes, lift your knee. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, low lunge. Step your left foot between your hands. On your breath in, come up, crescent lunge. Breathe in. Exhale, warrior two. Breathe out. Inhale, five-pointed star. Exhale, prayer squat. Inhale, five-pointed star. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle. Left elbow to left knee, left fingertips to the floor or a block. Reach your right arm up. On your next breath in, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Don't step back to plank. Bring your right foot to meet your left. Chair pose, Utkatasana, everyone's favorite. Building heat, building strength, building fortitude here. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, balance chair. Lift your heels, reach your arms back. Chair, release your heels, reach your arms up. Exhale, balance chair. Chair, heels down, arms up. Balance chair. Lift your heels, reach your arms back, engage your triceps, working on your balance, stamina, strength. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, standing forward fold. Heel toe your feet out to the edges of your mat, 45-degree angle, and squat down, Malasana. Bring your hands towards your heart. This would be a great place for a block. If your hips are tight or this is really uncomfortable for any reason, you can lift up and set your hips down on a block. Breathe here. Hold. Getting prepped for some longer yin style holds. All right, for all of you arm balance lovers, this is a great opportunity here. You can come into crow pose, so you can just bring your hands to shoulder distance apart, backs of your knees to, or your knees to the backs of your arms, and then maybe hold here. Balancing in crow. You can try and try again. And come back into Malasana. So hips low, hands to your heart. Reach through the crown of your head. Relax your shoulders. And breathe. All right, we're gonna build some strength and heat in our low back and hips. So keep your elbows connected to your knees. For those of you who have practiced a lot of my classes, you probably are familiar and not in love with this movement, but it's so good for you. So lift and lower, lift and lower. Lift. You're just bringing your hips up to the height of your knees, not any higher. And just feel the heat building in your low back, your hips, your quads. Keep your head in line with your spine. All right, do one more. Okay, from here, not a very graceful movement, but we're going to come to a seated position. So just bring your hands behind you, come down to a seat. And we're gonna take Heron Pose. So I'm gonna mirror you again. So bring your left leg in, bring your right foot flat to the floor. Take your hands around the bottom of your right foot, interlace your fingers, lift your foot up off the floor, and maybe extend it long. So that might look like this today, or maybe all the way straight. All right, so take your right foot and bring it to your left hip for half lotus. If that doesn't work for you, you can place it on the floor or stack it. Bring both arms up overhead. You're gonna bring your left hand to your right knee, your right hand out behind. Deep belly breathing. Movement and breathing invite attention. So pay attention to what's happening in your body and your mind right now. Inhale, come back to center, reach both arms up overhead, release your hands down toward your mat or the floor. You're gonna bring your right knee to your left heel. So take your shin, bring it onto the floor. We're gonna take a little heart opener here. Left hand out behind, reach your right arm up, maybe lift your hips, look up, maybe look back, maybe reach back. And release. All right, let's switch sides. We'll do Heron on the other side. So bring your right leg in, your left foot flat to the floor. You're gonna take your hands, interlace them underneath your foot, lift your heel up off the floor. If you would like, you can begin to straighten it, straighten it, straighten it. Again, coming to the edge of your stretch. So no pain, but maybe just a little discomfort as you begin to open up your body. Just a little push. Heron Pose. All right, come into half lotus. So you're gonna take your left foot, bring it to your right hip crease. Again, if that doesn't work for you, you can stack or place it on the floor. Bring both arms up overhead as you breathe in and twist. Bring your right hand to your left knee, your left hand out behind. Breathe in. Exhale, twist deeper, maybe looking out over your shoulder. If you have a bind in your practice, you can always take your hand, reach it around for your foot, deep in your twist. Breathe in, reach your arms up overhead. Breathe out and release. All right, let's take that heart opener. So you're gonna take your left knee to your right heel. Place your shin on the floor and then bring your right hand out behind you. Lift your left arm up. Lift your hips up. Maybe look up, maybe look back. And exhale, release. Bring both feet out in front of you and let's come into boat pose, Navasana. Lift your heels up off the floor. You can hold on to your thighs or you can reach your hands forward. You can keep your legs bent or you can straighten them and just hold. Feel the heat building in your core. Feel the stability in your body as you hold this posture. All right, let's practice 3 rolling boats and a jump back. All right, you can take a gentle hold on your knees, roll back, and boat. Roll back, and boat. Roll back, and boat. And then you can jump back if you have that in your practice. Just cross your ankles, plant your hands, jump back through chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Big breath in and out. Let's take some balancing postures. So on your next breath in, lift your right leg high, step forward, low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart and come into an airplane pose with hands at heart center. Neck is nice and long, gaze is at the floor. Now, bring your arms straight out to a capital T position, palms facing down. Now bring your right hand to the floor, left arm up, stack your hips, half moon pose. Exhale to prayer squat. Hands to your heart, sink down. Inhale, standing or 5-pointed star to standing straddle splits. I got ahead of myself. Coming into my favorite pose, let your head dangle. Of course, you can use a block here to support you. Walk your hands to the front of your mat. Low lunge. Keep your left hand on the floor. Step your right foot back. Side plank, lift your right arm up. Breathe in. Breathe out, come all the way down onto your belly. So lower down. Keep your hands right where they are. Tops of your feet, legs flat to the floor. Breathe in, Cobra. Lower down just a tad. Lift your arms up off the floor, your hands up off the floor, lift your feet up off the floor. Bring your feet to mat distance apart. Bring your arms to capital T. Hold. Bring your feet back into alignment with your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. Press back, child's pose. Breathe in. Open mouth, exhale. Ujjayi breath. Out through your nose. And come back to down dog. Let's balance on the other side. Lift your left leg up. Step forward, low lunge. Crescent lunge, rise up. Bring your hands to your heart and come into airplane pose with hands at heart center. So lifting your right leg up off the floor, balancing here. Bring your arms to capital T, palms face down. Building strength in your arms, continuing to build strength and balance in your left leg. Half moon, left hand to the floor of your block. Stack your hips, lift your right arm up. Nice, strong, active legs. Pressing out through the ball of your right foot. And big exhale as you come into prayer squat. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, standing straddle splits. Come all the way down. Now let's take wide-legged down dog. So walk your hands forward, bring them in line with one another, and then press back. Look back between your legs. Walk your hands back so they're underneath your shoulders. Hang here. And then walk your hands to the front of your mat. Low lunge. Side plank on the other side. Keep your right hand planted. Step your left foot to meet your right. Lift your left arm up. Hold. And then exhale, lower down onto your belly. All right, now let's take a shoulder stretch here. So extend your left arm to the left, palm face down. Left ear to your mat. Roll up and over, planting your foot on the floor. Exhale. Switch sides. Extend your right arm to the right, palm face down. Left hand underneath your left shoulder. Release your ear to the floor. Roll up and over and plant your foot on the floor. And then come all the way back. Both hands underneath your shoulders. Press back. Extended child's pose. Listen to your breath going in and out through your nose as your forehead rests heavy on your mat. Now walk your hands back toward your knees. Bring your knees together to touch. And then we're going to come into a couple of rounds of Robbins Breath before we take some yin postures with longer holds. So really connecting deeply with the breath, important in our yin practice. Bring your hands to your heart. Breathe in. As you exhale, extend your arms forward, palms connected. Keep your gaze neutral. Breathe out. Breathe in, blossom, open. Lift your chin, lift your chest. Draw your elbows back and down. Breathe out, bring the palms of your hands together. Tuck your chin to your chest, look down at your thighs. And come back to center. Breathe in. Exhale. Extend your arms forward. Inhale, blossom open. Exhale, chin to chest, look down, connect the palms of your hands. Inhale, hands to heart. Exhale, keep your gaze neutral, extend your arms long. Breathe in, blossom. Breathe out, chin to your chest. Hands to heart, one more round. Exhale, forward. Inhale, blossom. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, hands to heart. Exhale, hands to your thighs. Okay, we're gonna come into Hero Pose. Again, a block is great here. If you have tight knees, tight hips, any issue going on with your body. Otherwise, separate your feet. Sit your hips between your heels. You can stay here, reaching the crown of your head up toward the ceiling, or you can recline, coming down onto your forearms or your back. And just one more breath wherever you are. Exhale. come back up onto your hands and then walk your hands forward just for a release. Come into a tabletop position and then extend your right leg back. Maybe rock back and forth. Feel the blood rushing back into your knee, your joint, your ankles. And then switch sides. Extend your left leg right out behind you. You can rock back and forth. Come back into tabletop position. Tuck all 10 toes under. Lift your knees up off of your mat to hover right where we began. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down dog. Walk your hands back to meet your feet. Coming to the back of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe notice the difference between this forward fold and your first forward fold of the day. Inhale, tall mountain. Bring your hands to your heart for tree pose. So stand on your right foot. Bring your left foot to your ankle, calf, or inner thigh. And then hold here. Either hands at heart or straight up toward the ceiling. And release. Switch sides. So stand on your left foot. Bring your right foot to your calf, ankle, inner thigh. And release. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and walk your hands forward so you're in a high plank position. Lift your right foot up off the floor to hover and then press back, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your right knee to your right elbow and set your right foot down. Wide-legged low lunge. Release your back knee to the floor. Lift up through the crown of your head.
Just lost sound.
Okay, sound issue. I hope you all can hear me. If not, we're going to have a long silent hold. So we're moving into a long hold in wide-legged low lunge. So you can come onto your fists, your forearms, or a block, and then hold here. Really focus on the depth of your breath and really notice what's happening in your mind and your body. One of the challenging practices, challenging parts of the yin practice is just being present with whatever's happening in your body. So movement and breath invites attention. So pay attention. Maybe notice the chatter of your mind as you hold the pose. And just one more minute here. You might be feeling a little discomfort as your body opens up, but no pain, so make adjustments so that you're not feeling pain. If you need to back off, take a break. Getting really, really deep in here. All right. Come back up onto your hands if you're not already, and you're going to heel toe your right foot across your mat so you can come into half pigeon. So we're staying with it on the right side. This would be a great place for a block if you want to prop it underneath. And then breathe in, lengthen, stretch up. Breathe out, release. Notice your breath. Notice your thoughts. No attachment or judgment here, just being in the present moment. Use your breath to help deepen into the posture. Come back up onto your hands. Now step back to a high plank pose. And just tap your knees down to the floor. Lift your left foot up off the floor to hover, and then press back to three-legged dog. Deep breath in. Exhale, wide-legged low lunge. Place your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Breathe in to lengthen through the crown of your head, and breathe out to release. And we're going to hold. Make any adjustments you need to so that you're not in anything more than a little slight discomfort as you loosen up and deepen into the pose, but no pain. No pain ever. Ramp up your breath. Ujjayi Pranayama. Listen to the sound of your breathing going in and out through your nose. Can you steady your breath even as you face this challenge of holding the pose? Notice your thoughts. No attachment, no judgment. Just be present here in this pose. We're almost done holding this side. Well, kind of. And now we get to go to half pigeon. So come back up onto your hands if you're not already. And then heel toe your left foot across your mat. Place your shin on the floor. Once again, stretch up to lengthen. And then exhale to release. Utilize your blocks if you want or need them. And just settle into half pigeon for a nice long hold. Ujjayi Pranayama. In and out through your nose. Steady your breath. Can you keep your inhales and your exhales long, slow, and steady, even as you face the challenge of holding this? Okay, come back to down dog just to release pigeon. You can pedal out your legs, wobble out your head, release your hips. Big exhale here. Release onto your knees, shins, and then cross over and come down onto your back. I'm going to take just a few more postures here before Shavasana. So let's take a supine twist. You can take whatever variation you like. Just gently draw your knees into your chest. Take a couple of circles of your knees in one direction and in the other direction. Again, releasing those hips. Back to center. And take your knees, both knees, to the left. Come into T or goalpost, whatever. You can stack or stagger, or maybe straighten your legs. Make your way back through center and release in the opposite direction. Any variation you'd like on your twist. Stack, stagger, straighten, goalpost, T, whatever feels good in your arms. Come back to center. Separate your knees and feet for happy baby pose. Hold on to your calves or your feet or your toes. Maybe rock side to side. And just notice your body, notice your breath, notice your thoughts as we wrap up our practice here. Just enjoying these last moments. Hug your knees into your chest. Any other movements are welcome before Shavasana. When you're ready, release into Shavasana. Bring your legs long, let your feet fall open. Rest your arms alongside your body, palms face up, fingers are nice and relaxed. And just kind of wobble your head a couple times. Feel the entire weight of your head resting on your mat. Arms are heavy, legs are heavy. Now, collectively, let's take one final breath together. Bring in your air, hold it. Exhale through your mouth. Now you can let go of your pranayama practice. Just return to the natural rhythm of your breath. Take a mental scan of your body. So just noticing your toes and working your way up. Maybe wiggling out any tension that you might be holding on to. Move your way, move your awareness all the way up to the top of your head. Just move into a state of deep relaxation. Yoga is not simply about flexibility. It's about showing up to your mat consistently, not knowing what is going to happen and being okay with that. It's about rehabilitating yourself and never believing that you are too injured, too tight, or too old. It's about believing that you can do anything, even if it's scary or the most impossible thing you could ever dream of. It's about uncovering who you really are and being kind to yourself so that you can be kind to others. Yoga is about discovering that the invalidating thoughts in your head are not true. It's about being healthy without pushing yourself beyond your limit and slowing down to get strong. It's about breathing and moving and smiling on the inside. You can continue to enjoy your Shavasana if you have the time. If you are ready to come out of Shavasana, you'll just begin by bringing gentle movements into your fingers and your toes, and your wrists and your ankles. Stretching long from your toes all the way to your fingertips, reaching your arms up overhead. And then when you're ready, you can roll onto your side. Taking a final moment here on your side, just to acknowledge your practice and to thank yourself for showing up for your practice, for yourself, for this moment. Taking care of yourself from the inside out, the outside in. And press your way up to seated when you're ready, or again, enjoy your Shavasana. I'm just going to close here by chanting one Om. You can join me or just listen to the sound and feel the vibration. Bring your hands to your heart, breathe in, exhale through your mouth. Breathe in for Om. Today or tonight, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, most of all, peace in your heart. From my heart to each and every one of you.